So, my name is Daniel Gartenberg. I'm a PhD student at George Mason. My focus is on sleep and specifically the impact that sleep has on alertness. But I'm not going to be talking about sleep at all today. I'm going to be talking about this company, Inside Tracker, which I became familiar with through my experience at a Quantified Self conference. So, Inside Tracker is this, I just took this from the website. This is what their website looks like. On the description on Google, it says they accurately measure blood biomarkers, analysis, plus personalized interventions for nutrition, exercise, lifestyle, and supplements to optimize health and fitness. So it's basically a company where you can go into a lab. I went to a LabCorp, and they take your blood and then they give you information about different biomarkers that indicate your health. So as I mentioned, I met representatives from this company at the Quantified Self Conference, which is held biannually, typically in San Francisco and Amsterdam. It was a beautiful venue. It literally was looked out across the San Francisco Bridge. Very nice. These are some of the great speakers. But the person that familiarized me with Inside Tracker is Amelia Roshi, who, this is a Boston-based company, and she's their sales and strategist. And she kind of convinced me through some people that also use the system that I could gain some valuable insights into my health using their system. So this was my experience using their system. The process was really easy. Basically, I called a LabCorp, which is they're stationed all around the United States. I went in, they took a blood sample. They got, I think, like 8 vials of my blood. I've never had that much blood taken from me before, actually. Felt fine, didn't pass out or anything like that. 2 days later, I had my blood test back. And one of the, I think, most valuable things about this service is that when I went to my doctor out of my quantified self-curiosity to get some of these biomarkers, he knew that the health insurance companies would not pay for those things. I would have to pay for it out of my own pocket because health in the current healthcare system is about sickness. It's not about wellness. So in order to get these tests done, you have to basically have a probable cause in order for the insurance companies to cover it. So these are some of the things that it tracks. I did actually the performance one, so this cost $300. And I asked my doctor how much it would cost for them to do it, and he said about the same price, which I thought was good. So, what did I learn? So basically, when I got my results back, I was kind of freaked out a little bit because I was a lot less healthy than I thought I was. So, you know, I exercise a lot. I eat a reasonable diet. I guess I drink a little too much, but what have you.
It's red wine.
It's red wine, right? So, the most surprising thing was I actually came back from the Bahamas about 3 days before I got this test, and it said my vitamin D level was really low, so 22. So it was odd. No, I got. No. The other thing was it said my cholesterol was in the red zone, so that got me a little worried. This is my first test ever of my cholesterol. I'm 27 years old. I've never had anything like this before. I also found that my LDL was high, so that's the good stuff. Or that's the bad stuff, so it should be low. My triglycerides were high. What else here? My testosterone was in the not so great range, which totally emasculated. My creatine kinase, I never knew what this was. Well, back up a second. Back up 1 second. I'm going to get to why That's not the answer. This is an indicator of inflammation. I was running a lot when I was on vacation, because I had nothing to do, and I think I kind of overdid it on the beach because it's a little tougher to run on the beach. I think that's why. What else here? First of all, they give you all the bad things first, so it makes you feel really bad about yourself. They're trying to motivate you, and they actually have really good facts about what these things are. Like, I learned a lot about these things. I didn't know anything about this stuff prior to going on the site. Maybe these little recommendations over here. So, and again, my glucose, my white blood cells were kind of not so great, indicating that...
What was your glucose?
I don't really know what this is. 89 milligrams per deciliters. So that's a good, right, that's good, right? So that's a good point. And so HDL was, again, a little bit, it said it was in the yellow zone. So basically, these are all the bad things that I learned about myself. There's other good things, too. But I'm interpreting, if I'm not in the green zone, this is bad, right? So this made me feel very motivated to improve myself. As someone who wants to be healthy, I want all these things to be in the green zone, obviously. But what I did is I wanted to make sure that what they were telling me was right. I mean, these companies have an incentive, right, to make you feel less healthy than you are. So, I asked my dad, who is an infectious disease doctor. He's had 30 years of clinical experience. And he's read the New England Journal of Medicine basically every issue for the past 35 years. So he knows what he's talking about. He's probably a better doctor than your doctor. Okay. So the first thing is, he said, is this even a CLIA certified lab? And so basically every lab has to be CLIA certified, and if it's not, a doctor will hear nothing about it. So he was questioning the validity of the test right off the bat, very skeptical. By the way, they are a CLIA certified lab.
Because it's LabCorp, right?
Because it's LabCorp.
Could I ask you a quick, do you know if this company has an association with LabCorp beyond just...
It's a partnership, I think.
Okay, are they investors? Or?
No, I don't think like that. I don't really know that much about it. He also said, you're missing some of the most important things that I would look for in a test like this. There's no there's different types of vitamin D, so maybe they just looked at one type and they didn't look at the other, and that's why mine was so low. He has no idea. So there's a lot of he had a lot of uncertainty in some of the information they were giving because there wasn't enough of it. There's also nothing about liver enzymes in there, which he thought there should have been. There's no total protein, etc. And he said it was kind of a ripoff because he has good insurance, and he's like, I can get this test done for $30 or whatever. But the thing is, like, maybe because he's a doctor, like, they would do that for him, but, like, when I go to the doctor and I try to get this stuff done, they're like, what's wrong with you? No. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But the other thing was, the main thing that he said was, what are they telling you? You are in the right range for almost every single one of these things. So he pointed me towards the New England Journal of Medicine healthy ranges, right? And basically, what he said to me was, you are in a healthy range for every single one of these things. Your vitamin D level is a little bit low. You should take a vitamin D supplement, maybe, and that's that. And so, that's like the standard doctor thing. That's what a doctor would say if they saw these results.
So the ranges that they had on their tests do not match up with the New England Journal of Medicine ranges?
So, I go back to Inside Tracker because I have this contact there. I talked to her about it, and their algorithm works based on this model of what is healthy for your age group. So if you look at the New England Journal of Medicine, when they're looking at testosterone, they're looking at testosterone across from 20 to 80. This is the healthy amount. And the doctors, when they're determining the healthy amount, it's all based on disease or illness. So it's not whether you're healthy for your age group, it's whether you have a potential problem. So that's when I started realizing that there's really a different way of, these companies are really addressing this as a different way of thinking.
So hold on a second, right? What's it, Inside Tracking? What's the name of the company?
Inside Tracker.
Inside Tracker. Do they have a validated study?
So they pointed me to some, but I didn't look at it really. They said that they did have some. I don't know really. But this is what I've come to realize is a real tension in this field is the medical profession that is really focused on addressing diseases, and all of their language is based on those diseases. Versus the wellness people like us who are just trying to optimize what the best people that we could be. And so kind of just taking it away. So I also talked to them, and they said they're going to include many of the measures that my dad thought that they ought to include in the next version. So that was good. So I think more work needs to be done to kind of get these two groups of people talking to each other. The people that are really incentivized to be, to have better health and wellness, and the doctors who are really incentivized to address some of these maybe long-term medical issues. And if there's maybe a way for the doctor to get some of the inside tracker data in a way that they're more comfortable with, I think that could maybe benefit everybody in a little bit. Because it's almost like these people are speaking two different languages. But I'd also like to end with, as quantified selfers, we have a say in how these products are developed. So we have connections with the people at Inside Tracker. They offered us a group discount where if a group of us is interested in doing this, they'll give us 30% off any of these tests. So I would be happy for anyone who wants to do it to just shoot me an email, and we can set that up. And you can give them feedback on how to improve their product.
Do you know if any athletes or sports teams are using these things?
I think that's actually probably one of their main demographics based on what she was saying to me.
Because I think that's what you're talking about is we doctors and basically athletes, people that are trying to go to the extremes with fitness or performance. And I would think if this was stuff work, Denver Broncos or whatever would go.
Yeah, I think sports teams a lot. Yeah.
Just to comment on the tests and your dad's comment. That is real basic stuff that you get the basic blood work.
Right.
And it was not complete. And it is a rip-off, the price they charge you, and like typically when the only one, testosterone, I think, is you get the CDC, and your analysis is typical, and you get lots more than that. And the results are interpreted on the report itself, which gives you those ranges.
So here's the thing. Even if, maybe you can't, maybe it is a rip-off in some way based on that perspective, but there's also, I think, some value in how they were presenting the data to me in a way that made me feel like I had some control about my health and I could do something about it.
I would agree with that, but I mean, speaking to the entrepreneur, I would go to get my data from the doctor for free from the insurance, and then go to the website. Yes, definitely.
So the business model. But when I did go to my doctor and I asked for my test, because actually my testosterone is one of the things I'm more interested in, they wouldn't do that, and then they said it would probably cost around $200 to do that.
Right, that's
so there are certain things.
The doctor told you. I'm sorry, who told you?
I went to a clinic and asked them. Medical, not associated with Inside Tracker at all. So an independent person.
Your doctor could order a testosterone test.
But the insurance would not pay for it. That's what she just told me. I mean, so there's I mean maybe it's who you know.
I think insurance is so myriad that you can go to one insurance and they'll pay for you to have breast implant, and you go to another one, they're going to pay for you to get your teeth changed. So,
when you do a physical, a lot of stuff.
I don't have great insurance.
You guys are also different age.
Right. They say exactly. they say to me, I'm a 27-year-old man, there's no reason why I need to get my cholesterol checked. I've actually said that.
That's bullshit.
Oh, really? That's our shit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go for it. Yeah.
My brother and I have been testing this out for a little bit because he and I have been talking about getting CBC routinely for me. And it costs $179 out of pocket for me to go to the lab. And they will withdraw the blood and they will give me full test results. The only problem is that they won't give them to me directly. They have to give them to a physician. So that's where it costs money. When your dad says it costs him $30, it does cost him $30. It doesn't cost me $30. It costs my brother $30 as a physician. Within the physician realm, there's a different costing for this. So I wouldn't say a whole lot about costs. The cost is you'd be able to go to LabCorp directly. You just have to pay the physician to be able to take the results and then pass them on to you.
Because what happens is the insurance company, they have purchasing power. So, if it's like, the CMS, for example, Medicare will go to LabCorp and say, we'll buy like 15 million tests for you this year, but I want $30, right? So it's just and different insurance companies at different rates. Like, it's very complicated.
But it's the difference between consumer accessibility and the doctor. I think that's the real issue here because, we were talking in hours, and my issue, I'm a type of diabetic, and my issue is I want to track my blood. I want to know what my blood is saying. I want to get that information, and it's just not that easy to go to the doctor and say, hey, first off, to go talk to the doctor, I got to give him a copay. So I get this call and say, hey, he ordered this test for me. It doesn't work like that.
Just to add something to that, I think there's also something to be said to feeling empowered by your data. And so I definitely had that feeling walking away from this. Like when I looked at the New England Journal of Medicine, like their scoring thing, I was totally disengaged from that piece of paper. But they presented the data in such a way that made me feel empowered to do something about my health. That being said, if I didn't have someone like my doctor tell me left from right, or like my dad tell me left from right, maybe I would have taken some weird testosterone supplement, which would have been totally terrible. And so I think that's what these companies really have to be.
Yeah, you would have lost a little hair and you would have been beating up people. I think that it is less than useful to get individual evaluative statements for specific biomarkers because the biomarkers don't act in isolation.
So that's the other thing. The C-reactive. So there was an inflammation marker, but my C-reactive proteins, which is also an inflammation marker, was very good. So basically, I had no issue with inflammation, but without being a doctor, I wouldn't be able to make those connections.
They're compensatory markers, and I think
so
that synthesis is very difficult.
That's difficult.
It's not necessarily to get one data point.
Exactly. That's good.
So that's why I think it's important for these communities to talk together. I think both can provide value to the health system, but there's definitely, and that's my time.
Do you believe in, do you believe in their guidelines? Do you think that your testosterone is truly, from a wellness perspective?
I have no idea.
All right, so we'll take this one offline.
Right there, when you said I have no idea, that's the bottom line. You have no context. You don't have the knowledge to interpret it out.
Yeah.
And you don't have the context.
That being said, there was after that being said, I'll also say that this Inside Tracker company, after I got my test, they put me in touch with a representative who I could talk with about things.
They could sell them supplements.
And, I mean, that's the whole business.
Yeah, right. All right. Hey, let's give